Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Pastor Adah with you. Today I want to talk about a fire, a small fire that can do great damage. Now, there is a fire that is extremely dangerous, but many people don't consider it as a big problem. Come with me to James chapter 3. I want us to see what this kind of fire is. We can see this in the book of James chapter 3, verses 5 to 8. Here you go. So the tongue is a little member and boasts of great things. How great a forest is set ablaze by a small fire. And the tongue is a fire. The tongue is an unrighteous word among our members, staining the whole body, setting on fire the circle of nature, and is set on fire by hell. For every kind of beast and bird or reptile and sea creatures can be tamed and has been tamed by humankind, but no human being can tame the tongue, a restless evil full of deadly poison. I am talking about a small fire. The Bible says the tongue is a fire, and it is full of poison. You see, the tongue is one of the smallest members of our bodies, but it can do the harm no other part of the body can do. Take an example. If I want to hurt you, if I want to hurt your foot, and you sit by me, I can get my foot and step on you, and if I do that, you are going to feel pain. I'll hurt you. But you see, if you are seated at a distance, I won't be able to hurt you with my foot. But you know, if you are seated at a distance and I want to hurt you where my foot cannot reach, the tongue will reach. You know, the tongue has no distance. I will use the tongue when you are at a distance to hurt you. The tongue is dangerous. The tongue is a fire. The tongue can do havoc, harm no other part of the body can do. You know, even someone in a wheelchair will use a tongue to hurt you. Someone in a wheelchair who cannot move, who cannot use their arms and legs, can use a tongue to hurt you who is at a distance or who is nearby. The tongue is a fire, the Bible says, full of deadly poison. And a child of 5 years can use the tongue to hurt a man of 50 years. You see, a child of 5 years cannot be able physically to hurt a man of 50 years or 40 years, but this child can use the tongue to hurt a mature man, a mature person. This child can use this by, destroying the man's reputation. For example, a kid can look at you and decide to slander you, and he'll tell his fellow kids, his peers, that this man, this woman is a pickpocket. Now, if this word goes from the mouth of these kids to their parents, to mature people, people will start spreading the word that that man is a pickpocket. And soon, you know what? The society will know you as a pickpocket. People will start avoiding you. At the end of the day, the child has used his tongue to destroy your reputation. The tongue is a fire. The tongue kills. The tongue destroys. The tongue is full of deadly poison. And many relationships have been broken by the tongue. Many people have been hurt and wounded by the tongue. The tongue is a fire, a very, very dangerous fire. Now, the Bible says that the tongue is an unrighteous word. Listen to me. The tongue is an unrighteous word. It is a word. It is a system of wrongdoing. Out of the tongue comes gossip, comes lies, comes slander, comes threats, all kinds of evil. It is a world on its own. But now you see, we need to learn how to control our tongues. Otherwise, if we let our tongues, speak whatever we feel like speaking, when we are gonna cause a lot of havoc, because the tongue is a fire. The Bible tells me gossip has destroyed lives. Slander has destroyed lives. I once heard of this story. There was one lady in a certain church, and she saw a brother and a sister from the church, the same church, just talking. And then she suspected that they had an affair. So what she did, she went to another member of the church and she told her, you know what, so and so are having an affair. Now, see, the tongue began the fire. The tongue of this one lady began the fire. So she went and told another member in the church. This other member told another one in the church, you know what, brother so and so are having an affair. The one she told another one. So the fire went on spreading like that until every member of the church heard of the affair between the brother and the sister. Lastly, the last member who was told went to the pastor's wife and told her that the brother and the sister were having an affair. So the wife of the pastor went and told the pastor. Now, the fire had blazed by this time through the whole church, and it came to the pastor. So on a Sunday morning, without having told the wife before, the pastor called the wife to stand up in the congregation, and then he asked her, you told me that so and so have got an affair. Who told you? Then the wife showed the one who had told her about the brother and the sister. So the pastor asked that person to stand up. The lady stood up. Then he asked this one who had stood up, who told you? She said, so and so told me. The other person pointed to her to stand up. The third one, who told you? So and so told me, stand up. At the end of the day, the whole church was standing up. The whole church had heard the rumor, and yet it was not even true. Now, see how the tongue of one person, one lady, caused the fire to blaze all through the whole church. The tongue is a fire. And you see, no single person in the church bothered to stop the fire. The fire caught every tongue in the church. No single one decided to stop the fire. The Bible says the tongue is a fire. It can set ablaze the whole forest. The tongue is a fire. Now, we have seen what an untamed tongue can do. We have seen the danger of an untamed tongue. The tongue has destroyed relationships. The tongue has destroyed marriages. A tongue that is not controlled can cause great harm. So now, we have seen what a tongue that is not controlled is capable of doing. So, what should you and I do with our tongues? What would God have us do with our tongues? The Lord wants you and I to learn how to tame our tongues. He wants us to learn how to control our tongues. We can learn by the grace of God to tame them. It is difficult, I know, but it is possible. Now look, come with me to verse 7 of the same chapter we have read. The Bible says, for every kind of beast and bird, of reptile and sea creature can be tamed and has been tamed by humankind. But no human being can tame the tongue, a restless evil full of deadly poison. You see, we can make a decision to tame our tongues. And we said it is possible by the grace of God. You see, don't say everything that comes in your mind. That's why we have a problem. Whatever comes in our mind, whatever flies in our mind, we speak out without thinking. Before you speak a word, listen to your words. Ask yourself, what effect are they going to have on people? What effect are these words going to have on my friend, on my wife, on my husband, on the people who hear it? What is the effect? We talk without thinking twice about what we are going to say. Now, that is not the way we are supposed to use our tongues. The Bible says every kind of beast and bird or reptile and sea creature has been tamed by man, but no man can tame the tongue. Now look, humankind will go to the forest and get animals, wild animals, and tame them. But he cannot tame the tongue that is in his own mouth. Think of the beasts and animals and reptiles man has been able to subdue and tame. You think of elephants, lions, chimpanzees, you name it. These are dangerous, fierce animals, yet man has been able to subdue them and tame them. Think of serpents. They are very poisonous, but man has been able to capture them, subdue them, and tame them. Think of the birds of the air. It is difficult to catch a bird in the air, but man has been able to catch them, subdue them, and tame them. Now look, man is able to catch the birds of the air and tame them, but he cannot catch his own tongue. The tongue is flying in all directions. He cannot catch it, but he can catch birds of the air. Man cannot tame his own tongue, but he goes to the sea, and then he catches the sea monsters and subdues them and tame them. Yet what is within his own mouth he cannot tame. Man goes to the jungle and gets a lion, a very fierce animal, and he tames it, but he cannot tame what is in his own mouth. The tongue is an evil. The Bible says it is a world on its own, full of deadly poison, very unruly. Brethren, we need to learn how to capture our tongues. The tongues are flying in every direction. One can tame the birds of the air, but the tongue is flying in every direction, and you cannot tame it. Man has the power and the skill to catch, subdue these animals, but he doesn't have the skill and the power to tame his tongue and the tongues of others. I don't have the power to tame your tongue. I don't have the power to tame the tongue of my videographer here. I don't have that power. But I can go and catch a bird and tame it. I can go and catch a lion and tame it. The tongue, it is a restless evil, my brethren. God would have us learn to tame our tongues. I know it is not easy, but it is possible. Where there is a will, there is always a way. If we are willing to tame our tongues, by the grace of God, we shall be able to tame them. But the problem is we don't bother at all to tame them. We don't bother. We let them fly in every direction, in every angle. And we destroy people's reputations. We slander people. We gossip. We threaten. We influence people with the tongue to do wrong. There are many people who have done wrong, who are doing many wrongs because of the influence of the tongues of others. Young men and young women in our generation, they are involved in evil by the influence of the tongue of others. The tongue is an evil. God would have us tame our tongues. An uncontrolled tongue can be used to make a lot of havoc. But if we learn to control our tongues and use them in a godly way, our tongues can be a great blessing to many in our generation. So I want to leave this word with you. Learn to tame your tongue. Learn to capture and subdue your tongue. Don't let it fly in every direction. By the grace of God, by the power of God, and by your will, you can capture it and subdue it and use it for the good of others, not to hurt, not to cause pain to others by using your tongue. I hope the message is driven home. Shalom. God bless you. See you next time.